The following program is made possible with the support of Papa John's Pizza. Better ingredients, better pizza. With 5 locations in the Wilmington area, Papa John's Pizza. Better ingredients. Always had them, always will. Wilmington International Airport. Committed to a relaxed, enjoyable flying experience. Now offering daily nonstop flights to Charlotte, New York, and Philadelphia with American Airlines, and Atlanta with Delta. Details at flyilm.com. Ruby Tuesday at Monkey Junction, featuring uncompromising freshness and quality and gracious hospitality. Ruby Tuesday at Monkey Junction, the perfect place for your next casual dining experience. And PortCityDaily.com. You can do without the paper, but you can't do without the news. PortCityDaily.com is your online local news source for Wilmington and the surrounding Cape Fear region.
Hey football fans, welcome to another fresh edition of Sports Roundtable. I'm your host Joe Katz from PortCityDaily.com, taking our weekly look at high school football across New Hanover County. Before we get to our first guest tonight, we'll go through just the recap from the Friday Night Lights just a couple of days ago. First, we'll start out in Monkey Junction. The Ashley Screaming Eagles, finally, 26-24 winners over Westover, their first win since October 2013, snapping a 17-game losing streak. Caleb Parker punched in the game-winning score on the Screaming Eagles' final drive of the game in the fourth quarter from 1 yard out, and it grabs Coach Jeff Turner, who we'll talk with later on in this program, their first victory again since 2013. Scotland County came to Jurgensen Gabriel Field at Legion Stadium, took care of New Hanover 48-28. Garrett Walston had a rushing touchdown for the Wildcats. Burke Estes 19 of 30 for 179 yards and 1 touchdown through the air. Out in Bladen County, East Bladen jumped out to a 21-0 lead in the first half and ultimately held off a tough Laney team 34-27, a seesaw battle really as the Bucks made it a game in that second half, 34-27 in favor of East Bladen. Jemias Beckett with a 55-yard touchdown run. Trayvon Green hit Justin Billingsley for a touchdown through the air as well. And finally, at Scott Braswell Stadium, the Hoggard Vikings picked up a 24-21 win over the Clinton Dark Horses. Tony Allen had 2 touchdowns on the ground. Caleb Kuhn hit a 47-yard field goal. So that wraps up our recap of high school football across New Hanover County. We'll get to our first guest on tonight's show, and that's the Laney second-year man, Coach Ashad Yeoman. And Coach Yeoman got behind the beat a little bit on Friday night and were unable to pull up a big second half, or you had a good second half, but just came up a little short there at the end of the game.
Yeah, we did. We started out a little too slow. Those guys held onto the ball for quite a bit in that first half. We got on the board just before halftime and got the momentum going in our direction. But in the second half, we didn't finish a few plays that we left out there, and that was the end result.
Well, you put up 27 points, a couple of touchdowns, as I mentioned. Jemias Beckett with a 55-yard run. Trayvon Green accounted for 2 touchdowns, hit Justin Billingsley in the air for a touchdown strike. As one of my favorite broadcasters of all time said, let's go to the videotape. So we will go to the footage right now on the game against East Bladen. And why don't you take us through these next set of plays here for the Bucks?
Well, in the beginning of the game, we had a lot of adversity going in. We started a little bit slow on defense, and the thing about it is we struggled tackling, and that's one of the things that we, as a defense, you got to be pretty solid there. So we had some goal line stops in that first half to kind of help out a little bit. The guys did a great job of checking in, but we got to get better, as you can see right there with plays, and that was 4th down and goal to push them out to get the offense back the ball. And we didn't actually capitalize on that because we ended up having a fumble, but that was the drive after that goal line stand. We're making too many mistakes. We kind of, again, got to start executing at a high level. And defensively, we got to get work on tackling, and offensively, we had a lot of plays out there that we left on the field. That was one of the counter plays. They did a great job on film of taking those things to the house. They were a very explosive team. giving them credit. Those backs were very fast. Their offensive line did a great job of just getting in your way, and that's what blocking really is, man. Sometimes it ain't all about road grading and pushing guys out of there. Sometimes it's just a matter of just getting in someone's way and causing some disruption. But I'm proud of the defensive guys of stepping up. We've been on that field, I want to say 48 plays in that first half. It was a little ridiculous, a lot of lopsided as far as the number of plays that we were out there. But those guys just kept fighting and we kept getting after it. A lot of. I think looking at that film, there's probably one senior right now on that defense, and that's Jemias Beckett at the corner position. So we got a lot of young guys defensively playing, and we got a senior rotating in at the defensive line spot. So hopefully we can show up some of these issues with tackling and get better there. And that's Trayvon Green, doing a great job of extending the play. It wasn't there, and he did a great job of scrambling all night. He only had that one mistake of fumbling the ball on a scramble and giving them the ball back, but for the most part, he did a great job of executing the offense all night long. Real impressed with the progress he's made up to this point, and we're just looking for him to keep going in the right direction and keep getting better every single week. Hooking up with Justin Billingsley, a senior, he's doing a great job of catching the ball and executing the offense. He's a big target for us. Still got some work to do, as we all do, but a lot to build off of, looking at the film.
Yeah, looking at Trayvon, just his presence in the pocket, you can see it develop over the last couple of seasons, or a couple of weeks now, and just looked really comfortable back there behind the center.
That is very true. He tried to get out of there a lot of times, a little too soon. That was a great effort by Justin Billingsley. We felt like he got in the end zone on that, but the guy called him out. But we ended up punching it in and doing a great job there. This is one turnover that we did get, to kind of counterbalance the turnover we had against them offensively. But one of the things they did get was an onside kick. They found a little hole in there, and we didn't actually give the effort that we should have to get that onto that ball. And so they got an extra possession. And with that offense, that's tough. Going with 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
So while the offense kind of starting to click on that side of the ball, defense still looking to clean up some things, particularly on third down. A number of third down conversions really kept them on the field, and then special teams, another key facet to every week in a game on Friday night.
Oh, absolutely. That is right. With our third down conversion, they were completing those third downs at a high percentage, and that's one of the things that we got to do a better job of getting off the field and finishing those plays. And they never really punted anyway. So if they got a fourth down situation, they were still going for it.
Well, I know, after 3 games on the road and a ton of travel, you're going to be coming back to Bucktown on Friday night and you open conference play against Topsail. So I know this week of practice, at least you know that you're not going to be traveling anywhere but to your home locker room come Friday.
That's the exciting thing, man. It's just, we get the opportunity to be in front of our fans, be in, in our territory, and it's just exciting that it's conference play. So we're looking forward to the second half of the season, basically.
Laney High School football coach Ashad Yeoman here on Sports Roundtable. The Bucks looking to get back in the win column come Friday night as they open conference play against the Topsail Pirates. We'll take a quick break here on Sports Roundtable. We'll catch up with our next guest right after this. Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports Roundtable, our weekly look at high school football across New Hanover County. Out of the 4 schools this past week, we went 2-2 across the county. Our next guest, New Hanover High School football coach Earl Smith, and Coach Smith, tough loss to Scotland County, a good team, a perennial 4A favorite in the East region each and every year. So sandwiched in between the bye, 2 games here over the last 2 weeks where you've really gone up against 2 quality opponents and 2 teams that will probably be playing late into the season this year.
Absolutely, Joe. Just like the Havelock team, total package. Where they won it was on the line of scrimmage on both sides, and I'm just proud of our guys for not giving up. We hung in there and had a little bit better of a second half and stayed with it and didn't give up.
He had a couple of a touchdown run from Garrett Walston, not a guy that you are accustomed to seeing in the backfield running in. Burke Estes completes 19 of 30 passes. So offense slow to get going, but like you said, in that second half played a lot better and can take a little bit from this past Friday into a big road game at Purnell Sweat.
Absolutely. Our young defense, we got 2 starters returning from last year, and each week we get a little better, and we're just not consistent. And as you'll see on the film, there's some good plays here and good plays there. Kicking game was good. We with Josiah Easton, our kicker, so we're chipping away at it.
All right, we'll take a look at some of the footage from this past Friday night as Scotland County came into town. Always a good matchup that's highlighted on the schedule each year for the New Hanover Wildcats, and you talk about that kicking game, and here we go.
Yeah, this is Josiah Easton, our senior kicker, and he put 3 in the end zone, which, you know, that's a weapon that's unbelievable in high school. So makes him start from the 20. Like I said, defensively, you know, our front does a good job here, but you know, again, we've got to be more consistent and do it every play.
Anytime you get those big guys mashed up in the middle.
Our ends played really well. Both of them were seniors. They were, you know, Isaiah Crawford right here making a big stop, and he was a running back last year. We moved him to defensive end to try to shore up our defensive front. Here is sophomore Grant Daly. We moved him up from the JV this week. We were just kind of bringing him along through the early preseason. He had a heck of a game. Again, we got 2 sophomores starting inside linebacker, 1 outside linebacker, and a good stop here by Nas Brown, another sophomore.
A lot of young talent out there.
Absolutely. Great tackle here. Nas slows him up enough to, you know, trips him up there. Again, great effort by him. We had to punt quite a few times, and you know, another good tackle there. Thought we had to recover the fumble, but did not. Little screen play to Trey Age. Trey had a good, consistent night, and he's been very consistent. We moved him inside, which, you know, he'd been playing on our speed, and he's really stepped up for us, you know, at that position. Carol Brisbane, one of our corners at the top here, had a really good game. Had a couple almost interceptions, and
he was tested against a good Scotland offense.
Yes, their quarterback, so he's a real deal too. Here's the option, and Briz plays it well, almost picks it off.
Well,
like you said earlier, we started picking up our bubble screens and chipping away at it. Drove down and scored here to, you know, before the half to get on the board. Little swing out to Freddie Taylor. Freddie's a sophomore. We got Freddie and Wisdom Bond. We played them both ways. They rotated him at safety for the week. Our safety was out, and it's a heck of an effort by them. Let's put us down to the 1, and here we're in our short yardage offense.
big boy able to barrel one through there.
Yep. We put in the Garrett Walson in our Wildcat as a new little wrinkle, trying to get him the ball more. Again, another one in the end zone. Just a great weapon, Josiah. Here outside linebacker, Josh Blackman makes a great play off the edge.
I mean, really tested, obviously, as we talked about, this New Hanover defense this past week.
Yep. There's Trey with a great effort there.
Yeah, that's just, obviously some of the highlights from that ball game. But with that said, just trying to be more consistent, I think, is what, you're kind of preaching to these guys right now. Just be consistent. You've seen a couple of big plays by that defensive front. They were exposed maybe the last couple of games, but they can get a consistent effort through 4 quarters. You got to be pretty confident with the Wildcats moving into this week.
Yeah, we're fairly healthy. We had a few injuries, but they're learning, and we're going to improve. We got one more non-conference game this week down at Purnell Sweat, and it's tough always going down there, but get through that, and then we start conference play next week.
Yeah, so, as the Wildcats look to get back to their winning ways, I guess, coming on Friday night, we just talk about, the experience on the offense, but also with that, a lot of youth on that team on the defensive end, a couple of sophomores, and a number of younger guys that are contributing, and you hope that each week they continue to progress, obviously.
Absolutely, and they have, since the first game, so we're going to hopefully make a big jump this week also.
Some of those skilled players on the offensive side, I think, match up with anybody around this area and throughout the eastern part of the state. Wiz Vaughn, Freddie Taylor, Trey Age, they have really big play potential for you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
New Hanover High School football coach Earl Smith here on Sports Roundtable. Wildcats coming off a tough ball game against a good Scotland County team. New Hanover travels to Purnell Sweat come Friday night for their final non-conference game of the season. We'll take another break here on Sports Roundtable. I'm Joe Katz. Don't forget you can always get high school football coverage and all the other sports around the area at portcitydaily.com, your free online source for local news and sports. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports Roundtable. We're taking a look at New Hanover High School football across the county this week, and we're getting caught up with Hoggard first-year head coach Craig Underwood. Now the Vikings pull out a 24-21 hard-fought win at your place against the Clinton Dark Horses, a very talented team, a team that you had to contain late in the second half. Obviously, you jump on them pretty good early, and then they make a push there in that second half, but ultimately you're able to pull out the victory.
Right, it was a big win for us. They were a very good football team. Excellent running game. So to contain that and get a win, we were very happy.
Caleb Kuhn continues to shine in the kicking game. Did go 1 of 3 from field goal range, but hit a 47-yarder. Tony Allen and Rashad Wallace continue to chew it up on the ground for you.
Yeah, we're. I mean, offensively things are, especially in the first half. Again, we really were clicking. The offensive line was getting a great push. Brian Sasser was throwing the ball around pretty well. Multiple targets, and Rashad and Tony. Rashad ripped off, I think it was a 57-yard touchdown run. So, big night for Rashad.
Well, I'm sure some of these highlights, including that 56-yard run, are on the game highlights from last Friday night. A great crowd at Scott Braswell Stadium. And take us through these set of plays, Coach.
Yeah, I tell you, here we are starting right away. They're throwing one up. This is actually into the game. That was the sealed the deal right there. Carson Whittaker. Just a great kid, worked extremely hard. So I was so proud of him getting that interception. That sealed the game for us. So here you see we're getting a just great push inside. That's Will Dykes. Will Dykes had a really big night. He's come through for us big time on the D-line. Here we are at just a goal line, what was close to a goal line stand. We held them out three plays from the 3-yard line, but they did score on 4th down, unfortunately. Getting over on the offensive end, here's Rashad Wallace, Tristan Candair leading him in the hole, Hunter Louthan. Those guys opening it up for him. Great pass rush from Omar Jones, Sean Miller, a couple guys coming through. Sean stepped up big time. We had Mackenzie Frazier, one of our starting defensive ends, out this week, and Sean stepped in and had a big night. So he's come along. We got a lot of weapons on that D front. There's Will Candair, Sean Miller again. In on the push. This is right before the half. Second week in a row we've been able to get a guy free and block a punt. So a lot of excitement off of that. Special teams really coming through and executing the way I expect them to now. So again that's got to be a consistent part of our game, and I think we're getting there. Here's Will Candair, Omar Jones coming through, big tackle for loss. Key with these guys is we knew if we could get them off schedule, get them in a 2nd and long, and get them throwing the ball up, we were going to be okay. So again, scrambling. If he had time in the pocket, he could throw the ball pretty well. But if we could get him running around, we felt pretty good about it. Let's see. I believe this is Rashad, and this big gainer here. Again, just look at the hole that was opened up by our left side. That's Alex Halkias and Labib Ishmael opening just a nice hole. And Rashad finishing it with a great burst. He's had that burst, and we've challenged him, find that gear, and I think he did that this game. Here we are again, a little inside draw there. Again, I believe that's Will Dykes and Will Candair coming through on a big hit. Getting into a heavy short yardage package. This is Tony Allen now. This was the first score of the game, keeping his feet running. Offensive line getting a push. See Brian Sasser excited there. With a 1-3 start. This was a really big win, and the kids were extremely excited. Again, very good program in Clinton that we defeated here. This is Zach Jaffray with great pressure, forced him to throw it up, and then Brandon Ray with the interception. Brandon and Carson getting 2 picks for us was big. We've been able to win the turnover battle in recent weeks. A couple of those losses early, you're turning the ball over. It's hard to win football games. So we haven't committed any, and we've forced several in the last 2 weeks. Again, getting our heavy set here. Tony Allen pounding it in. Tristan Candair, Landon Romano, several guys leading the way there. This is Tony. Chris Scialis, our center. He's kind of the anchor of that offensive line. He's the only senior on the offensive line. I take that back. Cameron Garrison, our right guard as well. Tucker Brown's out right now, so this is Colin Hare. Nice grab. All right, working the seam there.
Yeah, really able to get a number of guys the ball through the air. Evan Allen Gret had a couple of nice plays for you. In addition to, it looks like Tony Allen, kind of your bruising back. Rashad Wallace with some breakaway speed we saw it there. So, Hoggard, clicking on the offensive end, you're able to hold off on the defensive side. He said Will Dykes, I think he had 6-7 tackles, a couple for loss. So, really, just an overall effort, and you're able to pull out a big victory against a good team. Yeah. It
was a great win. We're finally getting healthy as a football team. We got banged up a little early on, just kind of weird injuries, and we're finally getting healthy. And I think, hopefully really starting to make a push. Conference play starts this week. So.
And I know you talked just briefly, real quick, alerting the guys that you kind of look at the season as a couple of 4 quarters, and the non-conference section is now complete. You get 2 wins and a big win here to get back in the win column. So probably some confidence heading into a week of practice.
Yeah, I think the kids they were extremely excited off of the win, and I do think a little bit of confidence builder. Again, you look at Clinton on film; they're a very good football team. So that's a good win, and now it's South Brunswick.
The Hoggard Vikings coming up with a 24-21 victory over the Clinton Dark Horses this past Friday night. The Vikes will open up conference play against South Brunswick coming up later on this week. We'll take our final break here on the show. We'll catch up with Ashley first-year coach Jeff Turner right after this. Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports Roundtable. I'm Joe Catanacci from PortCityDaily.com, where you can get your free online news and information, high school sports coverage each and every day, again at PortCityDaily.com. Last but not least, and I don't play favorites because I am a sports reporter here covering New Hanover County schools, but if you noticed, I am wearing the Ashley Screaming Eagles colors today on the show. Why? That's because the Ashley Screaming Eagles picked up their first win since October 2013, snapping a 17-game winning streak, getting in the win column for the first time, getting Coach Jeff Turner his first victory as head man of the Ashley football program. So, Coach, welcome to the show. Finally, we get to talk about an Ashley Screaming Eagle victory.
Absolutely. It's been close, but this one, it was special. It was special for really the kids to see their faces after the game, the fans, the community, the school, the administration. It was great for everybody. It was uplifting, and it really shows what sports can do and take you out of that grind of reality. And we have a good community that really follows us and a good fan base. And you know what? For that time, it meant a lot for that community, the school, the parents, and the kids, just to see their faces.
Well, it wasn't easy to get that victory. It took you to the final drive of the game. Caleb Parker punches one in from 1 yard out for the game-winning score in a 26-24 victory over Westover. We'll go to the game highlights, and there were plenty of them in this ball game out in Monkey Junction. And again, Coach, you just can't really say much more than you're real proud of the guys. You put in a lot of effort, and we could see it right now on some of our game footage from last Friday.
Well, they worked extremely hard. That was the end of that last touchdown that won it. This was before it. We actually scored twice. For some reason, the refs did not call that last one that we were in. Time was running out. We had to score again. This was their last-ditch effort to go ahead and try to get a chance, and that was the last interception to win the game. And now we're sort of backpedaling back into the video sort of during the game. And, defensively, number 26 right there was averaging 250 yards a game, and we shut him down to about 70 yards. And I was really proud of the defense. They took him right out of the game. They kept trying. He's a special back. He's very good. It's a great job by safety Gaddafi Turner in the corner.
Getting Caleb back here must have been a big game too
and
for you.
He's not 100%, but just getting him back, he can make things happen. He's a tough kid, and again, he's only a junior. He's running hard there. Another good stop by the D on number 26. He's shifty, but they kept pursuing. Right here, another one to 26, trying to get out in the open. We had a lot of good stops until the one fake punt, and then sort of brought us into a momentum shift. Again, defensively, we're just getting after the ball. We're getting better. They're starting to understand the system. Special teams, that we've done a great job. Coach Green has really worked on that, and our returns on the kickoff. They're trying to do a squib kick here, and then on the punt has done great. Logan Black is just a 10th grader here. Actually started at QB one game, and he's just a great athlete, and he just gets the ball, finds daylight, and brings us into great field position here.
Really, all facets of the game here contributed to this win.
Right, and you know, we have some young guys out there. That whole offensive line will be back, besides one guy in Marcus Kennedy. Caleb's sort of switching plays here. They're audibling right here. Call it. Hit it. Jacob Reed comes around in and brings it in the end zone.
The ground game was definitely going on Friday.
Yeah. Good job shutting down 26. Again, watching him on film, he's just rallying up yards, and I'm just proud of the defense for hanging in there. Joe Barbera played a great game. He's a 10th grader. He's played defensive end and a 3 technique for us on the D line. Right here, number 1 was a very good athlete, just trying to scramble it, holding on, guys getting to the ball. Bradley Plyler had a really good game. Also, just runs so hard and fast. It's a tough one to tackle. And you know, offensively, we just kept plugging. We made a lot of mistakes. But the thing I was most proud about the team is, you know, they don't give up. And throughout all the games, they're fighting hard, and that's something that we preach and we're proud of, and they showed that. And that's really goes a long way. And you know, it is all about the kids and all about their maturing as a young man, and that's really the reason we should be in it. And just them fighting and getting stronger and not giving up, that means a lot, and fighting through adversity. And really, we hit a lot. I mean, it was rough because we had the momentum shifted. On a fake punt, we lined up wrong and gave him the edge. We knew it was coming, but we came back and kept fighting, and it resulted in a win. Finally.
Well, that's just, I think, a testament to what you're trying to build over at Ashley, and just no matter the circumstance or how things pan out throughout the course of the game, there's going to be ups and downs, is that you guys continue to fight until the final whistle.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what we're going to build off. And we have a tough West Brunswick game at West Brunswick this week, which they're a very talented team. So we're going to keep fighting and just keep, you know, having great practices. If we do that, we'll move forward.
The Ashley Screaming Eagles come up with their first victory since 2013, a 26-24 effort over Westover to grab the win. Again, Caleb Parker with the 1-yard run late in the game to secure the Screaming Eagles victory. And as they get ready for conference play, it's Ashley first-year coach Jeff Turner. Coach, again, congratulations, and we look forward to more of these come this season.
I do too. Thank you.
All right, that'll do it for this edition of Sports Roundtable. You can catch us each and every week on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock. And don't forget to catch up on all of your latest sporting news from across the high school ranks in New Hanover County at portcitydaily.com. We'll see you next time. I'm Joe Katz.